A political earthquake has just struck Westminster. For the first time since last year's election, a sitting Conservative MP has crossed the floor, straight into Nigel Farage's Reform UK. And he didn't leave quietly. Standing at a press conference in London, Danny Kruger delivered words that will haunt his former party. The Conservative Party is over. Danny Kruger wasn't just another backbencher fading into obscurity. He was once a trusted aide to both Boris Johnson and David Cameron, a figure woven deep into the Tory establishment. But on Monday, he stunned Westminster by walking out on the party he had served for decades. At that press conference beside Nigel Farage, Kruger admitted leaving friends behind was painful, but insisted he had no choice. His conclusion was brutal. The Conservative Party, he declared, is finished as a national force, finished as a serious opposition. In one move, he became the first sitting Tory MP to defect to Reform since the crushing election defeat last year. This wasn't just one MP switching parties. It was a crack appearing in the very foundation of Britain's oldest political machine. For centuries, the Conservatives dominated British politics, holding power more often than not, winning 32 of the last 46 years in government. Now, opinion polls put Reform UK ahead of them, despite holding just 5 seats in Parliament. Kruger's leap across the aisle isn't about numbers, it's about symbolism. If a Tory insider of his stature believes the party is finished, how many more are thinking the same but haven't yet said it out loud? No one benefited more from Kruger's move than Nigel Farage. For decades, Farage thrived on being the outsider, the political disruptor who rattled the establishment but never quite broke it. Now, he doesn't look like a protest figure anymore. He looks like a man building a real alternative. Reports suggest it was Kruger himself who approached Farage, not the other way around, a signal that Reform is no longer begging for relevance, but attracting it. And with Labour slipping in the polls, Farage's rise is perfectly timed. Reform UK suddenly isn't just a thorn in the side of the Conservatives, it's becoming a genuine rival for power. The Conservative leadership scrambled to downplay the damage. Kemi Badenoch, determined to project calm, insisted she wouldn't be blown off course by a single defection. But behind closed doors, anxiety is rising. You might think Labour would be celebrating its rivals tearing themselves apart, but Keir Starmer's government is stumbling badly. Just months after a historic landslide, Labour is now drowning in its own crises. Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner and U.S. Ambassador Peter Mandelson were both forced out in the same month, leaving Starmer exposed. And then came the biggest blow. His own director of strategy, Paul Ovenden, resigned after leaked messages showed him making explicit comments about veteran MP Diane Abbott. The scandal was humiliating, and it shredded Labour's approval ratings. Instead of dominating the political stage, Starmer suddenly looks vulnerable, opening the door even wider for Nigel Farage and Reform UK. Britain's political order is shifting in ways few imagined possible. The Conservatives, once the natural party of government, are splintering before our eyes. Labour, fresh from a landslide, is already bleeding credibility. And in the middle of this chaos, Reform UK is carving out space as the loudest opposition voice. If Kruger's defection is a sign of things to come, the two-party system that dominated for centuries may be cracking wide open. The real question now isn't just who governs, it's whether the old political establishment can even survive. Danny Kruger's defection may be remembered as more than just one man changing sides. It could be the moment Britain's political map began to redraw itself. A once mighty Conservative Party branded over by one of its own. A Labour government is already stumbling, and a Nigel Farage movement growing bolder by the day. If even lifelong Tories are willing to abandon ship, we may be watching the collapse of an entire political era. Let us know what you think in the comments.